Welcome to Basic Bitcoin Strategy. I'm your host, David Moorfield, and today we're going to be talking about hardware wallets. Now, I've seen a lot of people ask, what is a hardware wallet? Oh, does your Bitcoin go in it? Well, a hardware wallet is essentially a piece of hardware that houses your keys. Bitcoin is never in this, okay? It's just your keys. Everything's on the chain. So if you were to send money to my address right now, that's all happening on chain. Where it comes in that I need my wallet is if I want to send Bitcoin somewhere else. So I need my keys in order to interact with the blockchain. But I can get payments all day long and it doesn't have to be connected. This is probably the most secure way to hold a cryptocurrency at this time. It used to be paper wallets, but hardware wallets are better in my opinion because paper wallets, you're still going to have to type in your recovery seed, and by typing in your recovery seed, you're kind of making yourself vulnerable to keyloggers, and that's not good. So the other hardware wallet that I have, of course, is Ledger. I have the Ledger X. I used to have a Ledger Nano S, and I grew out of that, and I got the Ledger X, and I would never go back. It's definitely worth the $120 that you pay for it. Now, if you're just doing Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, stuff like that, Trezor can handle all of those. These are cheap, man. They're like $56. You know, what's nuts is I was talking to somebody this week, and he's walking around with $80,000 on his iPhone, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? Like, that's crazy. You know, that's twice his annual salary where he works, and I mean that would be a huge hit to him if somebody cracked his phone and got what he had on there. I do not like phone-based apps for trading or wallets or anything like this. Do I have a wallet on my phone? Yep. It's just walk around money. It's definitely not my savings account, right? Like, I would never walk around with my the contents of my savings account in my wallet, in my pocket. That's just crazy. So, if that's you and you've got a lot of your cryptocurrency on a wallet on your phone, $56, get you a hardware wallet, a whole lot more secure. It would really suck to lose it. Speaking of losing it, I got my education and it was very expensive. I'm hoping you'll take this for free. I had Bitcoin back years ago that today's value pretty much wants to give me an ulcer because I lost it when the exchange I was on was hacked. And at the time, it wasn't a terrible hit, but present value, looking at what it would have been, it's pretty much ulcer inducing. That would not have happened had I stored it off chain in a paper wallet at the time. Now they have hardware wallets. Those are a whole lot better. So, it's crazy to think that a $56 piece of hardware today would have saved me, like, it would have changed it. We're talking life-changing money. Okay, it was it sucked. So let me pay for that education, you take it for free. Get you a hardware wallet. Now, when you purchase your hardware wallet, there's a couple of things I want you to think about. One, you only want to buy it directly from the manufacturer. So you go to the Trezor site or you go to the Ledger site, you buy it directly. Do not buy it on Amazon. Do not buy it on eBay. Okay? You want to buy it so that you can establish a chain of custody straight from the manufacturer to your hands. And then when you receive it, you want to look at the seals on the box. You want to make sure nothing was tampered with before you put even $1 on it. Okay? So it's very important to make sure that your hardware wallet has never been tampered with. Then when you get your recovery seed during the setup process, write it down with a pen and paper. Do not put it in a text file or a note on your iPhone. These things, once they're digitized, they can get leaked and shared and sent around. And that would be really bad if your 24-word recovery seed was ever compromised. So I strongly urge you to never put it in a digital format. Write it down, pen and paper, and then there's kits out there if you want. You can stamp it into metal. You can etch it into metal. You can engrave it on things. Whatever your flavor is, that's cool. Just don't type it out. Don't take a picture of it and keep it on your phone or email it to yourself. I think you get the idea there. Just no digital world of storage, okay? So I even went as far as taking a picture of something I thought was cool, writing on the back of it with my recovery seed and laminating that and then sealing it in an acrylic block and then painting the backside of that acrylic block, and I have it somewhere far, far away, and the person that has it probably doesn't even know anything about it other than it's just a picture that is on their shelf. You can hide these things in plain sight. Nobody would ever know. So, of course, the other thing you want to think about, aside from you never want to share your recovery seed with anybody, except one exception. You need to write handwritten instructions of how to recover your assets and put that in a waterproof container in a safety deposit box or some other place, so that if something ever happens to you, that your family has access to it. Now, I lost a friend of mine a couple years ago to a heart attack, came out of nowhere. His wife has absolutely no clue how to access the large assets that he had socked away for their future. And, that's tragic, really. It's locked away forever at that point. So, it would really suck to spend your whole life socking away and building up something as a legacy for your family, only to lock them out of it, right? So I would encourage you to think about what your plan is. When you're doing your estate planning and whatever, you really need to include your crypto assets in a way that your family doesn't just have recovery words, but they understand how to use those. What do I do with this? So that's just an idea that unfortunately is kind of brought to my attention through a bad experience. But learning from others is a great way to learn, because then you don't pay the price of the education. Anyway, so moving on, recovery seed, that is your master key. So if you ever get a phone call and they claim to be with support and they ask for your recovery seed, they're trying to steal from you. Nobody legitimately will ever ask for your recovery seed. If anyone asks for it, they're a thief. So just don't do it, please. There was a scam several years ago where the point of sale, I guess the e-commerce site that was being used to sell some of these hardware wallets, the sales records were compromised in a data hack, and the hackers called people and said, hey, I'm with support and we think there's something wrong with your hardware wallet. Can you give us your recovery seed and we'll check it? And people actually did it, and they lost everything. So don't be that guy. So basically, hardware wallets, if you know what you're doing and you follow some very simple rules, it's the best way, the safest way, the lowest risk way to hold crypto assets long term. And again, if you're watching this video and you have a good amount of your savings in wallets on your phones, please fix that, because it's just good insurance, you know. Anyway, $120 for the Ledger X and $56 for the Trezor one. I have not tried the Trezor Model T. I'm sure it's nice. I don't have a need for more than what I have. But there's definitely, I mean, I know that there's a couple other hardware wallets out there. The only reason I don't recommend them is because I haven't personally used them, and so I'm not going to recommend something that I don't have hands-on experience with. And I'm not here to give financial advice or anything like that. I'm just talking about, this is very simple concepts of how to do something. I'm not even going into why, but, or at least why buy Bitcoin. Hopefully if you're watching this, you already have Bitcoin and maybe some other altcoins. But you gotta, when you're acting as your own bank, when you're the one who's got custody of your assets, you're taking on full responsibility. There's nobody that's going to insure you, come in behind you and make sure that you're in compliance with proper storage. No, that's all on you. So that's the purpose of this video, is to kind of get you thinking about what is the safest way for me to protect my assets. Pretty simple. This channel is not going to be, oh, I got hype, or oh my gosh, look at this, it's gonna moon. No, that's YouTube's full of that crap, and you can go watch it if you want. But all of these people day trading and whatever, day trading is it's a tax nightmare. I mean, my strategy is real simple. Buy a little bit every week. I use Swan Bitcoin. Swan's awesome, very low fees, and I have an automatic withdrawal that goes straight to my hardware wallet. My hardware wallet's not even in my house, and of course it goes straight to my Bitcoin address. Good to go. But I'm not selling. And when you don't sell, you're not creating a taxable event. And then at the end of the year, I don't really have to figure out like all these crazy transactions and how much capital gains I owe, and screw all that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't day trade. There's people that do it. They do well. I just say be very careful. My experience has shown that time in the market is better than timing the market. Just something to think about. But if you're in this to get rich overnight, just stop, because can it happen? Sure. But if you're chasing these, penny cryptos, low market cap, Oh, this is going to be really good. This is going to moon. It's going to go to Mars. Okay. Yeah. By the time it gets hyped, it's already on the up, and they're about to pull the rug out from under you. It's going to go to zero. You'll lose everything. Just saying. I've seen it over and over and over. Just don't put all your eggs into something like that, please. I would feel irresponsible by not mentioning that, I've seen a lot of people chase these things and they get screwed. So I wouldn't do that. They're looking for a sucker. Don't be a sucker. There's projects that I look at them and I say, yeah, I think that'll be around in 20 years. Those are the ones that I want to hold. So, if you're thinking about what's it going to be by the end of the year, who cares? I don't care what Bitcoin's going to be next month. I don't care what it's going to be at the end of the year. Polkadot, good example of something that I'm in long term. I don't care what the price did yesterday. I don't really care what it does tomorrow. I'm looking at 5-10 years, So I guess it's all in perspective. I've ridden an 80% drop before, and it's kind of funny when newbies are like, "Oh my God, we went down by 20%." I'm like, really? It's on sale. Now's the time to buy. It's one of these things that after a while you kind of key in on when everybody else is freaking out. That's a signal that you should be buying. And when they're all excited, that's when you should kind of just hold on to what you got on the way up. So I don't know. It's fun to look back and look at things that used to cause me anxiety, and now it causes excitement. And I guess that comes with just being desensitized to volatility, but more looking past the panic and identifying that there's a huge opportunity. And that's what we should always be looking for, is opportunity, right? So anyway, I'm not going to ramble on any longer, but I hope over time you'll come back, watch other videos. Like I said, this isn't a place for hype. I'm not going to shill anything. This is just, and call it like I see it. You can agree or disagree. Either way, leave a comment, subscribe, come back, ask questions. If you ask something I don't know, I will research it and give at least my best opinion on it. It may take some time. I've been researching a project for 3 weeks now, and I still have not fully satisfied my curiosity. So I think that's what you really need to do when you're looking at any of these. But research is key. All right, so until next time, have a good one.